Hi guys, and welcome to another tutorial for Torque3D for Rift. For this one I'm going to show you basically zones. Now zones are very handy, they allow you to do multiple different things, so let's jump into it. So same thing, we're going to go into World Editor, and let's just go into the world we created previously. So you can see, this might look a bit familiar. So what we want to do is make sure we go to the Object Editor, and we go to the Library. So under Level, we've got another one called Level. Now you've got three different actually four technically zones or one sound space. So you've got a physical zone, and a zone portal. Now there's a big difference between all these. Basically, if I bring a zone portal in there, I will stretch it out. Let's rotate that a bit and move that down. And let's make that taller. Okay, so this is a zone portal. So you're probably wondering what that is. So what this is that basically you can have this inside a house. You'll see that when it goes in there, everything besides the terrain and a few of the trees on this side, obviously, it's basically allows you to put inside, and it won't render the rest of the scene out there. So it helps save on memory and space. So if you're like going to shack and have this inside, it will help save on the memory and saving, so it doesn't have to render everything else. So say you got a really detailed indoor area, if this is on there, then you won't have to worry about it. So it is quite handy, and it's one of those things where you can also have it where you walk out and all of a sudden the world appears. So you can work out a use for it. Pretty simple. Now a zone is basically it's basically the same thing. Honestly, I've used the zone in my own games where I needed a certain section I had just to be rendered. So you'll see this doesn't have anything else rendered outside, so that's the terrain. So this is handy to same thing, have it indoors, etc, etc, or you can have it where all of a sudden the world disappears, kind of thing. So yeah, there's obviously different stuff as well, and you can actually select a few different things and use a different color and all that, but in general that's what it is. I don't use it that much. It's only really if I want to make sure that the game is running smoothly, so I'll use it indoors, put it indoors, and just allow me to speed everything up. Now the next zone is my favorite zone. It's called a physical zone. So you're probably wondering what is a physical zone. A physical zone is pretty cool. It basically allows you to either change the gravity and the velocity. So you're thinking, okay. So the cool thing is you can use this as an automatic jump. I've used this in the VR game jam I used. Also, you can use it to make your player float up really fast or slow, wherever you want, and float down as well. You can actually make it shoot a character out of a cannon as well, and it affects AI players as well. So if you had a racing game, you can have this as like a turbo boost. So I'll give you an example. So I think it's -3 for gravity. Let's have a look. Yep, so you'll see there it's jumping. So -3 for gravity, lets it jump out. Now obviously you can have a certain a certain model underneath to give you an idea of where it is. So we're gonna do like -20, and let's just see how crazy that is. So whee! So you can also say we'll do it as 0. You'll see that doesn't seem to do much at all. Now if we do just -0.1, I don't believe. Yeah, so that lifts you up a tiny bit. You'll see, starts making you fly. So if we stretch this out, so let's stretch it out tall. So this will give you an idea now. So walk into it. So nothing there. If you jump, then you'll start flying upwards. Now, obviously, if you change to like the -1, oh, so same thing. And if you do, -0.2, it will give you a no, we probably needed 4 maybe. Then yeah, you start flying upwards. And you can obviously change the size and everything to make it what you need. Now, velocity mod, that will actually shoot people out, so it'll multiply velocity. So if you run at it, you'll literally go flying out. So let's make that 5. And you'll see I literally just died. That literally just flew me all over the thing. So it's obviously not what you want, but let's do. You can actually do like minus as well, where it kind of stops the user. Like if you do -5, you can actually have this as a boundary. Boom, knock them out. Or if you do -0.5, just stops you, kind of thing. So yep, so -2, bow, bow, bow. So run directly at it, bow. Now if we do actually 2, you'll see it flies, makes you fly right over. So just keep running at it. Boom. So that's actually shooting me up into the air because I've still got the gravity mod on there as well. So I'm obviously going to die, but... So yeah. So obviously, it all depends. Like if you don't have a gravity mod like 0, then, let's just take that at 1. Oh shit, got a double, sorry. Apply it. Yeah. And obviously, to make it not as bad, you'd lose like 1.5, and to knock you back, it'll be minus. So, there's a lot of good things you can do with it, and you can, just make it as big as you need it. You make it smaller, and you make it literally a jump pad, as I showed before. So, there's heaps of things you can do with it. It's quite handy, see, as I said, you can make it actually jump like the Hulk kind of thing. Obviously, you'll see that it goes red. That means I'm getting hurt. So you can set the player details through the data block editor to make sure that my falling distance isn't going to actually hurt me. So you can actually jump. You wouldn't actually get hurt when you're jumping and all that. You can also actually make it where if you jump with your character, you can actually make it jump that high as well. So it all depends on on how you really want to run with it. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Very handy for certain things. Great for making platformers or making like a border around your place to make sure they can't get past it. Obviously you'll see it bounces. You can set it lower so it just stops you instead of bouncing. The one cool thing is I've done it where, actually let's do this. So just leave that as 1. I think it was -1. So I've actually made it where you're actually walking across the, walking across an invisible bridge. Like if you do -0.5, it doesn't bounce as much. So you can have it where you literally just walk over like a bridge or a chasm. You can have it, doing whatever you'd want to do. So heaps of cool things with the zones. Obviously, physical and the actual zone, not something that I've really, used. So obviously I might be incorrect in how they're being used, but it definitely seems to work for me. Now the last one is not technically a zone, but I'm still going to add it in. It's called a sound space. So what that means is, you can actually set it up as a actual sound space. So you can select ambient audio and all that stuff, and you can have it, modify the sound inside. So you have to deal with all the different audio setups there. So like you can have it underwater. So like say you've got music playing currently. If you walked into it, it would kind of sound like the music's underwater, or it sounds like it's inside, outside. It's kind of like those presets you have on those car radios and all that, where it says you'll be outside or in a bathroom, that kind of stuff. So exact same thing. So good when you're underwater, etc. So that's quite handy. So that's zones, and hopefully that's helpful. Talk to you guys later.